Also tonight, we're hearing more from the 60 Minutes interview with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu detailed, among other things, a shift in U.S.-Israel relations, saying he wants to phase out billions of dollars in U.S. military aid to his country. Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett is with me now. Major, just off a plane. Glad to have you here. What else did the Prime Minister have to say?
So the Prime Minister told us that the war will not end, cannot end, in his perspective, unless the enriched nuclear material inside Iran is removed. The methods, the timeline for that, still to be determined. But he said separately, Tony, that Israel by itself took a significant step forward in degrading Iran's nuclear research capacity.
On the operational level, I think the most pointed success is knocking out 20 top nuclear scientists who are working on the atomic bombs to be used against Israel, America, and anyone else. And 12 were knocked out in the first minute of Operation Rising Line, first minute. And another 8 were knocked out now in the present operation. And I think taking out that amount of know-how, it doesn't eliminate the know-how, but it sets them back.
We also asked the Prime Minister about China's military support for Iran days before President Trump travels to Beijing.
China gave a certain amount of support on particular components of missile manufacturing. But I can't say more than that.
Does that disturb you?
Well, I didn't like it.
Because it's apparently doing it right now.
Could be. Could be. I don't want to speak for China. I don't want to speak also.
But you have eyes and ears on this.
Yeah, well, you know, but I also have a closed mouth when necessary.
All right, Major, a rare moment there with the Prime Minister. He may have a closed mouth about China at the moment, but when President Trump meets with Xi Jinping this week, I imagine Iran's going to come up.
The Prime Minister clearly knows more than he's willing to say public about this. Why? Because he wants to give President Trump, in this summit with President Xi Jinping of China, ample opportunity to drive this case, use the leverage of the blockade. China's a huge recipient of energy flows through the Strait of Hormuz as a means of achieving less Chinese military support for Iran. He's leaving it, that is to say, the Prime Minister, to President Trump.
Major, thank you very much. Appreciate you again.